There we go. Yay. Well, welcome everybody. I'm so excited. There's so many of us. This is super fun. My name is Kathy Compagna. For those of you that I don't know, I am a national marketing director with the Juice Plus company. I've been taking Juice Plus products for over 13 years now. And I'm just really excited I'm going to share my story with you. I may ask a couple people from my team that are on this call as well to share their stories at the end. But we're just excited to share with you a little bit about Juice Plus, a little bit about our company, and then mainly about our Transform 30 plan. I think that's why a lot of you guys are on to see kind of what we're up to. So we've been having a blast with that. So I'm going to just start off, just share my story with you, and then we're going to kind of get into the presentation. Those of you that have dialed in, you're not going to be able to see the presentation, but you'll be able to hear me talk. So I think I'll do my best to, translate what we're seeing on screen for you, and then whoever invited you to the call can also get you that information. So like if you want to go back and see the visuals that we're sharing. I'm just going to check this message real quick, make sure everybody's on, doesn't have a problem. Okay, yeah, so we're good. Okay, so let me just get started with that. So again, like I said, my name is Kathy. I've been taking Juice Plus products for 13 years and been sharing them probably for about 7 years now, I guess. The way we started Juice Plus, my husband and I, his name is Rick. He was actually the one introduced to Juice Plus first. He was 50 years old, and I'm a little bit younger than him. But we thought, we were pretty healthy. And, we're physically fit, we look pretty good on the outside, didn't have any, significant health issues that we knew of. So at that time, some of you may remember, Julie and I were talking about being a little bit older, but back in the day, 15 years ago or so, body scans were really popular. And you could go into your doctor or, different facilities, and they literally would scan your body from head to toe and, check your organs and everything. And they can tell you if you had any underlying issues that needed to be followed up with a doctor. And my husband, Rick, unfortunately, was one of those people. They did a scan of his heart, and it showed some calcification on his heart. So they recommended, he follow up with a cardiologist, which he did. And the cardiologist wanted to do a nuclear dye stress test. It's like a treadmill test. And he did great at that, because again, he was physically fit, so he's on the treadmill just doing great. And then he was in the tube, where they do like the imaging, like MRI imaging. He was in the tube at rest and started to feel uncomfortable, and he was telling the technicians, something's wrong. And the technicians were trying to keep him still, to keep him, so they could get clear images. And luckily his cardiologist just happened to walk by and said, he's having a heart attack, call 911. And he ended up having a massive heart attack. He had 100% blockage. We actually almost lost him with that first heart attack. My husband and I, we had been married like 15 years at the time. We're almost at 30 years actually here in a couple months. But we were married like 15 years at the time. And, my husband, he's a former Marine. He's an ex-cop. He's kind of a type A guy, doesn't show a lot of emotion, especially back then. And it was the first time I had ever seen my husband cry. Like he just looked at me and said, go get the kids. So he knew this was pretty significant. And, I was looking at being a widow and, losing, the love of my life, and, how was I going to raise my kids on my own? Just all those things that, went through my mind at that time. And we were just devastated. It just changed our world upside down. And now in retrospect, it's turned out to be the biggest blessing, because what had happened is Rick ended up having 3 more heart attacks. So he had 4 heart attacks. They were all either 95 to 100% blockages. They were all happened at the hospital or right across the street from the hospital. So I always just think he's got like the most amazing guardian angels ever. But a dear friend of his told him about Juice Plus. One of our friends up in Oregon, he's an attorney up there, and was taking Juice Plus. He had prostate cancer and was doing really, really well with it. And so he called Rick, and he's just like, dude, you just got to try this stuff. It's just fruits and vegetables in a capsule, right? It's not going to hurt you, and it might actually help you. So why not give it a shot? So, so Rick decided to go ahead and try it, because he trusted his friend, which, I'm so grateful that Rick was open, to hearing that. And he started taking Juice Plus right away. He was doing all 3 blends of the capsules, which we'll show in a little bit. I was doing the shakes. So I actually just finished my shake. It's empty. It's my dinner tonight. I've been drinking those shakes like every day for 13 years. I love the shakes. I was, at that time, I was in the mortgage industry. I was a loan officer, had my real estate license, and had been doing that for quite some time and was really, really successful at that. So I wasn't, looking to do network marketing or anything like that, but I love those shakes. And so, Rick was doing the capsules, I was doing the shakes. And then, one of my friends with Juice Plus said, you might want to think about, becoming a rep, and get a discount on your products. And I was like, no, absolutely not. Totally not interested in that. I thought it was, one of those pyramid schemes or something, because I'd never been exposed to network marketing before. So, anyway, so I did end up signing up. I paid my $50, got my discount, kind of like a Costco membership, right? Got my discount, but I wasn't going to tell anybody. I just wanted to get my discount. So that was kind of where my head was. And then, as I'm kind of doing some research on Juice Plus, which I'm going to show some of that research tonight, I saw, there's several studies on heart health. Well, what had happened during that time, from Rick having his heart attack, and about 6 months later, I lost my dad to a massive heart attack. And my dad was 58 years old, had just retired from his company, finally, living the dream, living on a golf course, just a few, years into his retirement, and had a massive heart attack and died. And one of the studies is specifically on heart health after a high fat meal, and how Juice Plus could help keep those arteries open. And that's when I decided I had to share this product. I had to call all my girlfriends and get their daddies on Juice Plus, like there's something that could help my dad with his heart, and I didn't even tell my own dad. So that's kind of how I started sharing it. And then, I have amazing people, a lot of amazing team members are right here on the Zoom call tonight with us, that caught that vision, of that, that we have this moral obligation to share. When we know that we have something that can help people with their health, help their families, their kids. I see a lot of babies on here, which is super exciting. Great for pregnant mommies and nursing mommies, and you can give it to your babies when they're like 6 months old, open up their baby food. I just love that. So I'm just real excited to have you guys all on this call, and thank you so much for taking the time and trusting whoever invited you to get in on this call tonight, whether you're dialing in or in on Zoom, just for taking the time to learn and see if this is a fit for you and your family. And maybe, maybe it's a fit for you, maybe it's not. But think about those that you love and care about, like I did with my dad, and at least give them the option to learn. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and do a share screen. So those of you that are coming in on Zoom, you should be able to see the screen. If for some reason you can't, just message me down at the bottom. Hang on, someone's texting me. Let's just make sure that everybody's cool. Yep, we're good. Okay, great. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So hang on just 1 second. And those of you that dialed in, don't worry, because I'm going to still talk through each screen. You're just not going to be able to see what we're looking at, okay? But it'll be all right. Okay, so now you should see where it says 30 days can change your life. So hopefully you're all good with that. And let's see. So let's just talk about that. I love the Transform 30 plan, mainly because the way I work, I don't know about you guys, but if somebody said, okay, you know what, for the rest of your life, you're going to have to do this health and wellness plan or this healthy lifestyle plan. For me, that might have been overwhelming. I know when Transform 30 first came out with our company, and now I'm not even sure how long it's been, but I know when it first came out, I was very skeptical, just like I was very skeptical about Juice Plus, and I was very skeptical about the business side and the sharing side. I was skeptical about Transform 30, and I don't like people telling me what to do. So at first I felt like, oh, there's too many rules, So I finally decided a couple years ago, you know what, I'm going to give this a try. I was ready. I was ready to take my health to the next level. So I was like, you know what, I can do this for 30 days. I'm going to do it for 30 days and I'll see what happens. And that's what I did. And I honestly, I was really kind of shocked because I wasn't getting in it for the weight loss. I know a lot of people come in that side, but I was really just wanting to take my health to another optimal level. I'm always trying to improve my health and my fitness. And I'm a grandma, I'm in my 50s. I want to be really healthy. I want to be able to keep up with my grandbabies, and I've got 2 more on the way, which I'm super excited about. So I want to be around a long time. I want to have the health and vitality to do that. So I thought, I'm going to do this for 30 days. And it was really interesting because at the end of 30 days, I had lost weight, even though that wasn't my goal. So that was a nice side effect. But I was feeling really great. I was already doing Juice Plus capsules and 1 shake a day, but now we've upped it, and so we'll talk about the details of that in this plan. And there's some other things that I incorporated as part of the Transform 30. So I lost weight, I lost inches, I was feeling better. And I've kind of never looked back. I say pretty much every day, I pretty much live this Transform 30 lifestyle. And every once in a while, I need a kickstart. And so a lot of us that are on this call tonight, and lots of other friends, we've decided to do kind of a, a 30-day blitz together to support each other, encourage each other, and get us ready for summer. I don't know, some of you guys, you want to wear shorts or bikinis or whatever you want to do for the summer. We want to look good, right? Kind of get our sexy back. So I don't think there's any guys on the call, but they want to look sexy too. So it's all good. So 30 days. So this is what we're all kind of focusing on, right? So the next screen that you're going to see here is talking about the trends and kind of what has got us into trouble nutritionally and health-wise. And one of the trends is the quality and the nutrient density of our food. So I think most of you guys on the line would agree that, our food is not what it used to be. Certainly not what it used to be maybe in my grandparents' day or even in my parents' day. Things have a lot more preservatives and chemicals. They're shipped, even produce, right? It's shipped, from clear across the United States, and then it comes to you wherever you guys are at. Food's shipped all over the place. And really by the time you get it, it's really dead food, if you're buying produce, right? And then if you're getting stuff in a box or a bag, it's going to come with all this stuff that you're seeing on the picture, all these chemicals and preservatives and things like that. So, a lot of cancer causing things, stuff like that. The other trend is toxins on our planet. And I think this is an area that's really scary to me because a lot of this we can't control. We can control what we eat. We can control what we put in our mouth and, if we're going to grow our own food or, where we're going to get our food from. But toxins in the environment are a little bit trickier. So I kind of just feel like we got to do the best we can and, get involved in as many things as we can to protect our planet. You just think about the air we breathe, the water we drink, all these things that kind of come into play, just chemicals you put on your body. You think about the lotions and the soaps and things you use, deodorants, that sort of thing. We're kind of being bombarded all over the place. So these are kind of the two issues. So we're really getting hit with, toxins and all these chemicals in our food. This next screen is really showing kind of, what happens. Yeah, if I could have everybody raise their hand, but I can't see everybody right now, but you guys can raise your hand if you want. But how many of you have been on a diet, especially if you're focusing on weight loss, you've been on a diet, you lose the weight, and then you gain it back plus some, right? Yeah, I've done that. I watched my mom, as I was growing up as a young child, my mom was morbidly obese. She was close to 400 pounds and she was an ER nurse, right? She's talking to people about health and wellness, but she always had this weight issue. And looking back, I don't know that we ever really knew what caused it. If it was something in her metabolism, thyroid, who knows, right? Because this was a long time ago. But the answer back then for her was pretty drastic. I mean, she started off doing all these crazy diets. I mean, there was I remember because she put me on the diets with her just to have a diet buddy, even though I didn't need to lose weight, which that probably wasn't so healthy for me. But she would do all these crazy diets, the all meat diet, the all watermelon diet, all the grapefruit diet, whatever it was. And she would lose weight and then she'd gain weight back. And then it was just this vicious cycle and it was really hard on her body. So, she kind of got to a point where she was just so desperate, and in her mind, she thought she could be happy if she was thin, which, I know a lot more about that now, looking at, where she was and understanding who she was as a woman, because she was, in her late 30s at this time. She passed away when she was 42, but just looking at, her thinking of, hey, if I was just skinny, I would be happy. So she ended up taking really drastic measures, and she ended up having an intestinal bypass surgery, which they don't do anymore because a lot of women died from that. But literally they'd go in and cut out part of your intestine. So of course you're going to lose weight, right? Because all that food's just going right on through you. Well, now we realize the problem with that was that she wasn't absorbing nutrients, right? Because, now we know better, and probably 20, 30 years from now, we're going to know even more things, right? Science just continues. So I just think about that, we just didn't know back then. And, then the answer was to take vitamins, and she lost all this weight, and her, basically her whole body was going into organ failure, from her heart to her kidneys, everything, because she wasn't getting the nutrition she needed. So what this picture kind of really shows is really what it is it's about the toxins in our body. So if we can focus, oopsies, if you guys have background noise, if you can mute your line, that would be awesome. Oopsies, sorry about that. I was trying to get back to the screen, so I can't do that to mute you guys. Hang on just a second. Zigzag move to the hoop. Let me just see who that is so I can mute that line real quick. Oh, good, they got it muted. Okay, thank you, whoever that was. Sorry about that, you guys. So what happens is that, we're bombarded with all those toxins, and what happens is the fat cells, There we go. The fat cells wrap around the toxins to protect our organs. So the fat in your body serves a purpose. So if you've been exposed to a lot of toxins, I think about my mom, she was in this emergency room situation where she was exposed to a lot of, chemicals and, x-rays and all these things. Back then they didn't protect themselves like we do now. It kind of made sense to me, that her fat was serving a purpose. So then when she lost all the fat and she wasn't getting nutrition, her organs just started to go into failure. So if we can reduce the toxins in our environment and get them out of our body as well, we are going to lose weight. That's just going to happen because the fat's not going to serve a purpose anymore. So what I love about Transform 30 is it's a detox program along with a rejuvenation program. And I think that's really important to point out the difference, because there's a lot of detox, you hear detox programs out there, whether it's, drink lemon juice for 5 days or whatever it is. There's some that are pretty drastic. And you may detox, that's fine. But the problem is you're not getting nutrients at the same time. So you can actually end up causing more harm than good if you don't do it the proper way. So I love Dr. Mitra Ray. She's the one who actually came up with this program. She's a biochemist. She's amazing. She's very, very knowledgeable. And whoever invited you to this call can actually send you a 20-minute webinar that she did for us. I'm kind of covering some similar things that we're talking about tonight. But it's just really, really important that you also feed your body properly. So detox and rejuvenation at the same time. So what does that look like? How are we going to rejuvenate our body? So, we're kind of get the idea of what detox is. Well, what you're going to want to do, and what our plan is that you're going to say yes to Juice Plus. That is the foundation. You need to get the nutrition in your body. I don't know about you guys, and even though I know better, I am not eating 9 to 13 servings of fresh fruits and vegetables a day. I'm just not, even though I know better. And I know I was speaking with Allison earlier, we're both getting back into running. If you're putting demand on your body, if you're working out, which, we're going to encourage you to do that as part of Transform 30, you're going to need to eat even more fruits and vegetables. The recommendations for anybody working out or athletes is 13 to 17 servings a day. So even just think about your day, not counting Juice Plus if you're already on it, but really, how many fruits, vegetables have you had today? For me, I know I've had basically a banana and some greens. And some blueberries. That's all I've had today. So my Juice Plus is my foundation. It's fruits, vegetables, and berries in a capsule, which I'm going to show in just a second. And then you're also going to be doing the complete shakes, and we'll talk more about those. And we use those as a meal replacement within this program. So those are the shakes I said I started off with 13 years ago, and I drink them every single day. I absolutely love them. I'm not a breakfast eater, so for me, they have been invaluable, because even if I didn't have my shakes right now, I would not eat breakfast. I'm just not a fan of breakfast foods in general. And I would get up and start my day. I used to start with coffee and then maybe a piece of toast and then, go to work, right? And that's just a terrible way to fuel your body. You just set your metabolism up going the wrong direction. So you guys are going to love the shakes. And this is a picture of what Juice Plus is. So for those of you that are dialing in, you can't see how beautiful this is, but it's the rainbow. It's the rainbow of food. It's 30 fruits, vegetables, berries, and grains, all put into a capsule form. We also have a gummy, a soft chew. I like to just call them gummies, mainly for the kids, although my husband and I eat them every night because they are good, little sweet snack. But I do those secondary. The capsules are my primary source. And you can see on this picture, if you're on the Zoom call, you can just see the variety that you're getting every single day. It's the full rainbow. It's from the whites to the purples, and everything in between. So just imagine your body getting all those nutrients every single day, right? It's just brilliant to me. For me, it's kind of like a nutritional insurance policy. You think about, like, for example, like you get in the car, right, and you buckle up. We buckle our kids up. Why do we do that? It's to protect ourselves. And that's kind of how I think of Juice Plus. It doesn't mean that it's going to prevent me necessarily from, catching a cold or whatever, but it's going to help my body function better. So it's like my nutritional insurance policy or my nutritional safety belt. And then the other half of the story, it's complete. The Juice Plus Complete shakes that I said I've been drinking for so long. They come in chocolate, Dutch chocolate, and French vanilla. They are so good. I showed you guys earlier, I just already drank mine for dinner tonight. I had one for breakfast today. I love them. There's 25 whole foods in there. plus whatever if you decide you want to add extra goodies to it. But I just love, we kind of call it willpower in a glass, or in my case, like a mug, because I use a big one. I use a NutriBullet to blend mine, but because they really help with your blood sugar. They help stabilize your blood sugar. And that's usually what happens to people. I don't know about you guys, but when I was doing my loan business, working, basically a full-time, 9 to 5 kind of job, is I would crash like in the afternoon. Like, I would just tank. I'd have lunch, and then, about 2 or 3, I was just like craving carbohydrates. Like, look, I'd eat a candy bar. I didn't care what it was, anything kind of sweet or carb loaded. And that's what happens. We get this up and this down. So it's really important to keep your blood sugar stabilized. My husband, Rick, he's also a diabetic. He's insulin dependent diabetic, has been for like 25 years now. Juice Plus shakes, and the capsules, obviously, because there's no sugar in the capsules. But the shakes are brilliant for them because, again, they keep the blood sugar stabilized, so we don't have the up and down and the taxing of our pancreas. So, and then, with stress, I mean, who's not stressed out, right? We got to keep that blood sugar stabilized. And this picture just kind of shows just what I was just talking about, the ups and the downs. So if you can just keep it stabilized, you're not going to have the cravings. And that's what I noticed, because when I was doing, like I said, I've been doing Juice Plus for a long time and drinking the shakes. But when I kicked up and did a second shake a day, which is what Transform30 is going to encourage you to do, that made a huge difference, because I just wasn't craving the other junk that I used to crave. So just, spreading those out. I personally, normally I say most days I do breakfast and lunch, but some days like today I did breakfast and dinner. It just depends on my day. But I try to find a way to get that second shake in, even if it's for a snack. For some people, it works that way. Or after dinner, if you're craving something sweet, it's kind of like having a milkshake. They're great for a pre-workout drink, because they have a good, balance of protein, carb, and fiber. So that's really, really important. I personally like to use mine after a workout. For me, having it before, to me, it's just a little too much liquid. That's just me personally. Sometimes we have complete bars as well. I'll do the bars before a workout. But after my workout, man, if you can do that within 30 minutes of working out, get your shake in, you're going to recover so much faster. You're going to help with that damage that's done to the muscles from working out. Like I said, easy to digest. It's pre-digested food. So for people that, maybe have digestive issues, Juice Plus and the shakes, it's just all pre-digested food. I have unfortunately, a lot of friends and family members that have had cancer or have digestive issues, whether it be IBS or Crohn's or colitis, things like that. And Juice Plus capsules and the shakes have been brilliant for them, because their bodies don't have to work to break that down. So I love that. And that's why I think it absorbs so much faster. So I wish this had been around, when my mom was alive. I think this would have been really beneficial for her. So this screen is just showing you exactly what the plan is. And for those of you dialing, don't worry, I'm just going to go through the list. And again, whoever invited you can get you, the full packet of information. But you're going to say yes to doing the Juice Plus Complete and the trio of capsules. So fruits, veggies, and berries, 2 shakes a day. You're going to be getting over 50 whole foods every single day for about $6 a day, depending on which package you decide to do. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to drink water. Sounds so basic, but I know for me, actually, this is an area that I still am struggling with, even within the Transform30, is making sure I'm getting enough water. I know today I didn't, so I have to be really conscious of that. So that's an area I'm working on. Again, these are guidelines. We're going to encourage you to do everything on the list, but do the best you can. If some of these things are a challenge for you, just keep working on them. As long as you're improving yourself, that's kind of my goal, is always to just be a better version, of myself than I was the day before. So drinking water, ideally you want to drink about half of your body weight, so in ounces of water. So take your body weight, divide it by 2. That's about how many ounces of water you should be drinking. Dr. Mitra Ray, I love the way she says it. It's just like, drink enough water until your urine is clear. Then right? So, and that's right about that halfway mark for people. The next thing you're going to do is exercise. Exercise 30 to 60 minutes, ideally 4 times a week. Again, this has been an area for me that's been a little bit of a challenge, but I'm getting better at it. I think I'm actually doing better with the exercise than I am with the water. So, whatever exercise is for you, for some people, just getting up off the couch and walking around the block is a lot of exercise. For some other people, I know people that are like CrossFitters and doing, like crazy exercise and they're extremely fit. Whatever it is for you, just make sure you're being consistent. And if, you can kind of increase that and try to just, again, do a little bit better each day. But exercise is critical, you guys. You got to keep the blood flowing, keep things moving around, and that's going to help with that detoxing process. When we sweat, we're detoxing those toxins. That's what I try to visualize that or visualize that for myself. It's like when I'm sweating and I come back from a run, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so gross because I'm so sweaty, right? But I just imagine those are all toxins getting out of my body. Like when I run and stuff, I don't even use deodorant or antiperspirant because you need to sweat. This is really good for us. So, so drinking water, exercising, taking your Juice Plus. The next two things is where when I first started the Transform 30, I had a hard time with. But now the more I've learned about it and just made those changes in my diet, I've seen the difference on how I feel. But the first one's going to is to stay away from gluten. So 0 wheat. So if you can eliminate wheat for your diet again, remember we're doing for 30 days. And if you feel great after 30 days, you want to continue on, then that's cool. Hopefully you'll, do it the rest of your life because you're going to feel so good. But really try to get that gluten out of your diet. The thing with gluten is that it's very inflammatory in the body. And there's some other things that kind of go along with the gluten issue, but that's kind of the big one. So we don't want anything going on in the body when we're trying to detox and clean out our bodies and put really clean fuel in. We don't want anything that's going to cause inflammation. And then the next one is 0 dairy. Again, so no dairy, no gluten. Dairy is also very inflammatory. There's, a lot of other science, that there's some other correlations with cancers and things like that. It also is high in sugar. There's a lot of reasons to stay away from dairy, usually pretty high in fat, right? Cheeses and things like that. I would say cheese was probably my hardest one. I was already pretty much off of drinking milk and that sort of thing. But there are some great, non-dairy sources out there. Like today, for example, for a snack, I had some yogurt that was made by Silk Brand. So it's made with soy. There's also a coconut milk yogurt that was really good, and put some, gluten-free granola in there and some frozen blueberries. It was amazing. So a great healthy little snack. You're going to get plenty of calcium from your leafy greens. So with your Juice Plus vegetable capsules, you're going to be getting broccoli, right, and kale and cabbage and all these other things that are in there. You're going to be getting plenty of calcium, so don't worry about that part. The next step on our Transform 30 is to breathe. And that's, I guess, probably another area that I'm a little challenged on, just taking that time to really get that deep breathing in and really, again, releasing toxins. Of course, I deep breathe when I'm running, but on the days that I don't run, I'm really taking that time, whether it's meditation or whatever it is for you, but just taking some time to kind of, really breathe in, hold it for like 5 seconds and then breathe out, and just do that a few times. Feeling stressed out at work or tension, in your shoulders, that sort of deal. The next step is going to be to sleep. Make sure you're getting a good sleep. Ideally for most of us ladies that are on here with our age group, 7 to 8 hours is kind of the recommendation. I'm trying really hard because I do require more sleep than probably most people. But I got to get my 8 hours in. Once in a while, I'll be 7.5 or whatever, but I'm pretty good at getting, about 8 hours most days. So maybe 8.5. But again, I know some of you guys with kids, that's a little bit of a challenge too. So you're just going to do the best you can. That's when the rejuvenation happens. That's when the repairing happens. So it's really important for your body, especially if you've had a workout, is to really make sure, you go to bed early. I'm a night owl, like I said, so it's a little bit of a challenge for me. So I'm really trying to, kind of force myself to, if I can, go to bed a little bit earlier. And then if I get up earlier, then great. I can just get up when I want because I don't have I don't have to set an alarm because I work from home, which is a blessing. But just make sure you're getting enough rest. And the next thing on here is an assist. So assist means basically help your body with that digestion process. On the slide here, it says actually eat your last meal by 6 o'clock and then rest and digest. Sometimes that's a little bit hard for me, to be honest, during the summer, just because I kind of get busy through my day, or my husband and I go do something or whatever. And by the time we get home, ideally you want to have it at least 4 hours from your last meal before you go to bed. The bottom line is you just don't want to eat like at 8 o'clock at night and then go to bed at 9, right? And be sleeping with this full stomach, and your body has to do all this digestion instead of resting and rejuvenating. And then the last thing is balance. And I like to bring this point up just because I think it's really important. Again, this is not necessarily a weight loss program. It's about healthy lifestyle and detoxing your body. So, but I have had people that have gained weight. So if you are, like I had a girlfriend that had pretty severe Crohn's, and she was not getting any nutrients because she couldn't eat anything. But once she got down to, she was very, very thin, like about 90 pounds. But once we got her on Juice Plus, she started putting weight on because now her body was getting good nutrition and it could hang on to that, So in that kind of situation, we want somebody to gain weight. Or if you're an athlete, if you're putting a high demand on your body, you may have to, up your calorie intake. Don't worry about counting calories. Just make sure you're getting enough food in your diet every day. So this is basically bottom line. This is the Transform 30 plan right here. You could just take this screen to a screenshot. That's it. And here's I'm just going to show some before and after pictures for those of you that are dialing in. You're not going to be able to see, but just know that there's some great results. Some people, it happens pretty quickly. This gal, she is 90 days in, and we can see visually, how great she did. Another gal here, she went from a size 12 to size 2 in 9 months. I mean, she was working it. This is really awesome. You can see her and her husband. Here's another gal that she was able to get off her high blood pressure medicine, cholesterol, and some of her diabetes medications. So she even mentions about hormonal hot flashes. I see this a lot. I mean, again, we're not like saying that Juice Plus is for sure going to get you off meds. But I can tell you just from my own experience with my family and with some of my friends, I've seen this quite a few times. It just makes sense. Once the body is getting what it needs, it doesn't necessarily always need the medication. So I've seen several of my friends and family members get off blood pressure medicine. My own husband has been able to reduce his cholesterol medicine and his diabetes medication as well. I recently have entered into menopause. And for about 3 weeks, I was having the craziest hot flashes. I didn't know what those were all about, but I started having hot flashes, and they lasted like 3 weeks. I just started doubling up on my Juice Plus and made sure I was getting my shakes every day and eating really clean. And that was the end of that. So I was very, very grateful because I talked to other women that, sometimes those things go on for years. So that was pretty exciting to me. And this is actually one of my friends here who was diagnosed with MS, also considered legally blind and on several medications. And she's been able to get off more medications. She's in better control of her MS, and also down 7 dress sizes. So pretty cool. Again, these aren't necessarily in 30 days, right? These are people that over time, they've committed to the lifestyle. And then we can't leave out the guys. There's a picture of a gentleman here. He's, kind of went from being a little bit on the pudgy side and not so healthy to, bike riding and having more energy at 68 years old, which I love because that's my goal too. Mommies, I know we've got a lot of mommies on the call tonight with new babies. So you might be looking at, maybe losing a little bit of that little extra baby fat, right, from pregnancy. So definitely helps with that. Crystal's a great example of that. She looks amazing after, having all these baby girls. And then skin health. This is a pretty common area that I see, and especially with younger people, but also I've had some friends that were a little bit older that, you could kind of tell by their skin that they weren't very healthy. You can usually see blood pressure issues and things like that in the face, or like younger people maybe have acne issues, which is an inflammation issue. And Juice Plus is proven to help with inflammation along with a lot of other things. So whoever invited you to this call, I'm going to be able to share that information with you. But most of the people, like if you meet people that are on Juice Plus, that's one of the first things people notice usually about me. It's like, wow, your skin looks great. And that's pretty good considering I'm out in the sun a lot. I ride horses, so I'm outdoors a lot. I do the best I can, but I love knowing that Juice Plus is protecting my skin from the inside out. And here's another gal, same thing, her skin health improving as well. And hair growth. So a lot of times your hairstylist will be the first person to notice if you're having a health issue, if they're really good at what they do, because the hair is really a kind of a great indicator of health. So that if you're healthy, your hair is going to be, you can tell how long my hair is. I'm constantly trimming it. Very, very healthy. And I know a lot of people that have, their hair losses or hair growth has increased. I even know some men that have had that situation. So it's really, really important, especially in this picture. You can see the lady was a little bit bald on top, right? But she was able to fill that hair in. Again, nutrition from the inside out. It's going to show up on the outside. So hair, nails, skin, those are kind of the outward things that you're going to see. But there's going to be a lot of things going in on inside at the cellular level, which that's the part that gets me excited. Here's a cute little guy. A lot of you are mommies that are on this call. Just knowing, that you can give your kids optimal nutrition. We have a great program where for every adult order of the fruits and veggies, the kids get their fruits and veggies for free for up to 4 years. So ages 4 through college. And I love that. And this is a picture of a little guy who just had some amazing health challenges, you know, when he was younger, and now he's doing so much better and not having to go in the hospital. And I'm a grandma, but as a mom as well, I mean, just knowing, you know, that your kids aren't having to deal with whether it's asthma or, you know, whatever it is, immune system issues, that we can help them with food is so powerful. Here's another one of my friends, lost a bunch of weight. You can see her skin just like looks amazing. Let's just talk real quick about this because this question comes up a lot, because there's a lot of other protein drinks out there on the market, and you really need to know what you're putting into your body. And what I love about Juice Plus and the complete shakes is, first of all, number one is they both have a nutrition label. They're just whole food. This is why pregnant moms can take them. It's not a supplement. It's a whole food concentrate. But some of these protein drinks out there, a lot of them will say supplement. Some might have a food label, but most of them are going to say supplement on them. And a lot of them are made with whey, or I can never pronounce this right. I think it's casein, which is basically a dairy protein. You'll find that in dairy. And whey is just a byproduct of dairy. It's kind of like the extra stuff after they, you know, make milk or cheese, whatever. It's kind of the leftovers, if you will. But it's very cheap. It's a very cheap source of protein. So a lot of these protein drinks will be loaded with whey, and they'll be high protein numbers, right? So somebody, you know, might come to me and ask me, oh, Kathy, how much protein is in Juice Plus Complete? And I'll tell them, and they'll be like, oh, that doesn't sound like very much. Well, our body, first of all, doesn't need that much protein, first of all. And then also when it's from a plant source, our body actually utilizes it better. So this basically, if you guys are dialing in, you can't see, but basically a list of, you know, kind of comparing Juice Plus Complete with whey, you know, isolated protein powders. So those whey powders are going to be harder to digest, too much protein for the body. My neighbor next door, he actually started going into kidney failure after drinking, I call them the Mega Man protein drinks, you know, like those big ones you get at GNC or whatever. He started going to kidney failure in a very short period of time. I think it was just like a 2-month window, and he was really working out and trying to, you know, bulk up and get muscle, right? And ended up in kidney failure. So we switched him over to the complete shakes, you know, and he started to understand that, yeah, you don't need that much protein, and not from an animal-based source. The whey also contains allergens. You know, a lot of people that are lactose intolerant, right, or you have issues with dairy, can cause bloating, very acid forming, and that's where I think a lot of that inflammation comes in as well. Promotes cancer. Like I said, you can go online, you can research this dairy and cancer. A great book to read on that would be called The China Study. Amazing information. So once I read that book, got my whole family off of dairy, you know, as best I could. So my husband and I have not had dairy in a really long time. Also, you know, and you know this probably from just going in the stores, but that, you know, a lot of dairy can contain antibiotics, growth hormones, steroids, those sort of things. And then promotes lean mass. And then versus the Juice Plus Complete, very easy to assimilate. Again, like I said, it's like pre-digested, very easy for our bodies to absorb, non-allergenic, because coming from a plant source, very alkaline to the body. You know, plants help alkaline the body, so that's really important. We want our bodies to be in a more alkaline rather than an acidic state. Most diseases happen in an acidic environment. Very low glycemic, like I said earlier, you know, keeps that blood sugar low and helps with the willpower. Actually proven to reduce inflammation. Juice Plus and our Complete, we have great science on them, and you can go, you know, whoever invited you to call can share the science with you, but Juice Plus is proven to reduce inflammation in the body. And we're finding that really the root causes of most degenerative disease is inflammatory related, like diabetes and heart attack and stroke and these things, and a lot of the autoimmune issues have to do with systemic inflammation. And then Juice Plus is preventative. You know, our goal is hopefully to prevent disease, you know, as best we can. Again, we're not making any claims to that, but doesn't it make sense if your body is being fed properly and you're fueling it right, that it's going to function better? You know, maybe you won't get sick as often. That's something I notice. I very, very rarely get sick. And if I do, I just start doubling up on my Juice Plus right away, just to help my immune system be stronger. And then also promotes lean mass and promotes fat loss. I mean, that's where I know a lot of people come into this Transform 30, you know, looking for a little weight loss, and that's a great side effect to being healthy. So I love this screen just to explain some of those differences for you. And then this screen just shows the science on Juice Plus, some of the universities. And for me, that's what got my attention, because remember I told you at the beginning that I was very skeptical about Juice Plus. I was doing the shakes, but was skeptical about the Juice Plus capsules because I couldn't quite figure that out. You know, I grew up in this medical environment because remember my mom was an ER nurse. So I was very science-based. But it wasn't until I started looking at some of these studies, and this picture shows some of the universities that have done research on Juice Plus. But once I started reading some of those studies, and it's like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Like, there's heart studies, there's immune system studies, there's DNA repair studies, there's, skin, dental. I mean, there's just a whole broad range. We're up to, I believe it's 38 studies now, done all over the world, on human beings, not rats, right? That's important. And big universities, MD Anderson Cancer Center in Texas is the #1 cancer hospital in the United States. They did a study with stage 2 through 4 ovarian cancer patients with Juice Plus and with the Complete. I love that, because now we can, you got to be careful when people have cancer, what you say to them. And, we don't want to get in trouble with that. But I love that we have studies now that show that Juice Plus helps them. We have a way to help people that are going through cancer treatment and things. So I love that. University of Graz, Yale, Brigham Young, UCLA, it's across the board. So you definitely check that out. If you're feeling a little skeptical, please check out the research. Juice Plus is the most researched nutritional product in the world, period. And then this screen here is just showing you kind of what the options are, depending on what your goals are. We all have different goals. Some people, maybe the Transform 30 might be too much. Maybe you just want to come in and start with a shake a day. Maybe you want to come in with 1 shake a day and the capsules, or you want to go all in. With a lot of us, what we're doing is doing 2 shakes a day and doing our capsules, and then incorporating those other, healthy tips that we talked about before, like the gluten and the dairy and the exercise and things. So this screen is just kind of showing you what options, you have, and then also what the benefits would be. So obviously, you're going to have more benefits by, going all in, which is what we're going to recommend to you. So what does that mean? I'm going to go all in. What's that going to cost me, right? To me, this is always my favorite part, because I don't know about you guys. I know, I used to do Starbucks. I know there's some of us on here that did, or going out, it's just me and my husband now. Our kids are all grown. We do eat out a lot, just because it's our lifestyle. We're just busy. I love that for $6.50 a day, the screen is showing you a picture for those of you dialing in, but for $6.50 a day, you can have 2 meals, right? 2 shakes, and get your 30 fruits, vegetables, and berries in for $6.50 a day. Less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks. If you want to do, more of the basic plan, do 1 shake a day in the trio of Juice Plus, it's under $5 a day. Really, 50 whole foods, right? For anywhere from $4 to $6 a day, depending on how many meals you want to supplement. I just think that part's brilliant. So to me, that's sort of a no-brainer. And then also to remember that the kids get theirs for free. So they can get, gummies or capsules, depending on, what they prefer and their age. So I love that. And then, you might want to do what a lot of us are doing is, pay your $50. You don't have to, but that's what most of us on the line did, is pay our $50. Think of it like a Costco membership. And then we have our healthy living bonus program. If you get started with your Transform 30, and you have a couple friends that want to do it with us, and we have a great group page on Facebook. We have tons of support material. You're going to get a great booklet, which I'll show in a few minutes, with great information. You're going to get a $100 thank you card or thank you check. So a bonus, right? So that's going to help you, maybe you want to make a little income. I don't know, depending on what you want to do. But this is a great option for people just kind of coming in and maybe wanting to offset their cost. Or you can do what I'm doing, and a lot of people on this call is, this could be a way to supplement income. For me, again, remember, I was really skeptical about network marketing, but I am at the top position of the company now. I'm going to be receiving a full benefit package, medical, dental, life insurance, long-term care coverage, hopefully retiring my husband out of his stressful job soon. So there is a great career here as well if you want to do that. But what I love about Juice Plus is that it's totally up to you. You can come in, be just a customer, get your product, and we're going to help you get healthy. And we're going to be here to support you and hold your hand. You can come in and get a couple friends on board, get a little thank you check, or you can take it all the way up to top position and join me in that. But we're always looking for people that are like-minded, that really want to help others, and maybe looking for a way to help support their family as well. So we're really good at doing that. So let us help you do that if you want. So our mission is to help you be independent. Inspire healthy living around the world. Literally, this is a global business. If you have friends or family in other countries, we are in most of them, so we can help you do that. And this picture shows, a picture with our Juice Plus Complete, the capsules, our gummies, our bars, and then next to that is a picture of our Tower Gardens. So get with whoever invited you to this call about Tower Gardens, because they are super cool. So if you want to be able to grow your own organic greens, I literally have one growing in my kitchen right next to my refrigerator, and I have 2 tower gardens growing outdoors. I'm growing all my fresh greens and tomatoes and herbs and peppers and all that good stuff. I love it. So when I do my complete shake in the morning, I'm grabbing some fresh greens off my tower garden and I throw that in there too. So they're super cool. So that's the end of that. I'm going to quit the stop share here real quick so we can all come back and I can see everybody. Yay, there's everybody's faces. Awesome. I wanted to show you guys too. So this is, you'll get, if you decide you want to do Transform 30 with us, we'll get you added to our special group page. Like I said, we're trying to really kickstart summer. You know, this is a good time to do it, right? Get started in May. So come June, July, we're all ready to go. So we're starting up new groups, but we have a group page where we would add you. We're sharing recipes. We're posting pictures of our smoothies or, you know, what we have for dinner last night, giving each other ideas. And then you can also, you'll get access to this, it's a Transform 30 guide, client guide, and it's got recipes in it. In the back, it's got like a little tracking form where you can track, you know, what did you eat? You know, did you do your shakes? There's a little tracking form for your measurements. So we encourage you to do that as well. But you'll get access to all that information as well. So I'm gonna, if you guys have any questions, I'm gonna unmute you, or you can unmute yourselves, or you can use the chat feature down at the bottom. We've got about 5 minutes, so if you want to ask anything or have any comments, so let me unmute everybody. And if anybody has a lot of background noise, we'll just back up. We'll stop.